Before we dive into this month's video, I just want to thank everyone for your outpouring of support on my community tab. For those of you who aren't aware, our beloved cat Benny actually had a medical emergency right after I finished moving and doing a lot of painting. And we've really just been taking things one day at a time. I have also been so grateful to be so busy with so many amazing clients. And I appreciate all of your patience and understanding with these videos coming out a little bit later than usual. For those of you who feel so called to work together, you can find links in the description of this video for personal readings, distance Reiki sessions, as well as donations, because let's be real, those vet bills are pretty high and any support is greatly appreciated there. You can also just support this channel by hitting like, subscribe, and the bell notification. It means more than you could possibly know, and that way you are always up to date with what's in the cards for you. Hey Virgo, while I'm shuffling the cards for you, I just want to talk about what was coming up for me in meditation while I was connecting to all of your energy. I did have a really interesting visual that came up. It was like these two sort of like perpendicular lines, but they were moving in the opposite direction, and then they were kind of spiraling in on themselves. And at first, when I was connecting with this energy, I really thought that maybe there was a path that you were deciding to go on, Virgo. But the more I was observing this, the more it felt like, no, Virgo is actually walking on multiple paths at the same time. And in a way, they almost end up leading to the same destination anyways. So it's really interesting. It feels like you might be juggling multiple things at the same time right now, Virgo. Maybe some of you are working a job and going to school or raising children, or, there's just a lot that is happening. And I think being in Gemini season in particular, there's a lot of multitasking, which I know isn't always the most fun energy for Virgo. And it feels like there might even be this element of living a double life or living multiple lives at once. And ordinarily, I think there's sort of this duplicity or this inauthenticity that we kind of associate with this sort of expression, living two lives. It often means that someone is hiding something or lying about something. But I'm not actually getting that case for you, at least in this month. It feels like you kind of have to live multiple lives. And that might even be a bit overwhelming for you, Virgo, because I know we tend to be the sign that really likes to focus on one thing at a time and really be neat and orderly with things. But I think the solution here is moving forward with everything, even if that feels uncomfortable. And as I say that, the first card that comes up with the Five of Swords in reverse, you can't walk away from certain situations right now. There could be a lot of demands for you to be the bigger person in some situations, especially in relationships with other people or situations involving other people. And I know a lot of Virgos, I've said that message to you in the past, and a lot of people will comment, like, Virgo always has to be the bigger person. Why do we always have to be the bigger person? I mean, one, this is your reading. We can't really focus on other people if we are hoping to live empowered lives. We can only take action for ourselves. And I feel like it is in your favor to just do what you can to be the bigger person for your own sanity, Virgo. Because it feels like there is this celebration with the Four of Wands here as well. And it's interesting because it feels like the energy I kind of get with this is like other people walked away and you were kind of left to do all the work. And now there's this celebration and there's people coming out of the woodwork and maybe even riding on your coattails. It's kind of like this energy of like, when you do a school project and you're the only one who did anything and pretty much got the A for the whole group. That's kind of the feeling I get here. And you need to rest this month, Virgo. Especially with so many different things going on, you need to really take a moment to yourself, take some time for yourself to rest when you can. And you might be waiting on some things, and there might be a lot of moving parts because things are about to pick up with the Eight of Wands and the Sun. And it feels very positive. I actually feel like there's a lot of beautiful things happening for you this month, Virgo. And I think it just requires a lot of footwork on your part. And it's not to say to burn yourself out either. And it could also be that there's something that you've kind of been working on the side that is ready to be unveiled, ready to be announced. I feel like there's just really good news. There's a really exciting thing happening this month for you, Virgo, because the Eight of Wands represents messages, it represents opportunities, it represents things moving really quickly, and the Sun represents happiness, joy, optimism, healing. I feel like a lot of you are actually receiving really good news in the month of June. And maybe this is kind of connected to Jupiter being so close to the North Node. There could be opportunities for travel or regarding education. There could also be a lot of focus on your career, being in Gemini season. Whatever this message is, Virgo, whatever it's regarding, it feels like there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of momentum, and there's a lot of growth. And maybe the thing with walking multiple paths, looking at this Four of Swords, if you've been trying so hard to make something work, maybe you also need to focus your energy on something else, because energetically things could feel really constricted or restricted. Because when we're really stressed about an outcome, we kind of feel this tension in our bodies. And that's your body's way of telling you that the energy flow is also constricted. It's also restricted. So giving yourself space to rest, even if that looks like just working on something else or taking care of your home or just, doing something differently, I feel like that can also open up the energy. That is a message for some of you. What is this good news about? What is the good news coming for Virgo? We do have some abundance coming in. We love to see the Nine of Pentacles. This could also just be regarding space. Maybe you're moving, you have a really beautiful space to go to, or you found a good place to visit often. I'm really getting this with the garden in the background. That's what's really standing out to me and my intuition. It feels like there's a lot of fast-moving things, but it's also important to slow down and to kind of have that in your day as well. And I feel like you will be successful, you will be abundant with something. There is a celebration that is bringing a lot of growth for you. Maybe this is a promotion, maybe this is a new job. Although it does feel like something has actually been kind of building for a while. And it feels like there's even been moments like you've wanted to walk away from something because there were other things happening in your life that you had to focus on, but it's like you're moving forward in multiple directions. And I think that's the perfect way to describe the visual I saw for you. What else do we have for Virgo? What else do we have for Virgo? We do have the Seven of Wands. And I did kind of feel like there was maybe this feeling of disappointment or bitterness in relation to other people. Maybe it feels like other people are kind of coming at you because it feels like you're defending yourself or standing up for yourself. Maybe there's an interest in you now that there is more success or that there is something exciting. There might be some energetic vampirism. Tell me about this Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands with the Moon. I'm actually getting... It's funny that I talked about energetic vampirism because I actually am getting almost like psychic or spiritual attack for some of you. With the Knight of Cups, you are healing this. You are resolving something, using your intuition, using your magic to resolve kind of hostile energy or overwhelming energy. And I feel like some of you are doing this just by talking to someone, talking to a friend. Maybe you're talking to a spiritual practitioner or working with someone. But the funny thing about curses and negative energy, at least for me, I believe that it really can only latch on to a sort of insecurity that's already there, or some sort of incompletion that's already within us. And I mean, we're human. You know, I'm not saying that it's your fault. I'm not trying to victim blame anyone or anything like that. But I feel like there's some sort of emotional healing that is actually bringing energetic healing. And even curses can kind of be a blessing in disguise, because they can show us patterns that may have already been inherent within us. And we can work to resolve them. And I really do feel like there is an emotional component that is really important to this. Because overall, Virgo, it feels like there is something that is lifting your spirits, and maybe that's resolving whatever sort of hostility or just like negative lingering energy. I really do feel like there's someone, I know it's like kind of cliche, but it feels like maybe a past romantic partner or someone who you have kind of distanced yourself from, or maybe you tried to distance yourself from but couldn't. It feels like there's some sort of jealousy or envy. I don't think this is about you getting back together with anyone. And just kind of clearing your energy, clearing your space. And it's interesting to kind of see the Knight of Cups where I sort of placed it with the moon, because the rivers are connected. I really do feel like some of you are working with water. And there's even like a river in the Seven of Wands. Yeah, I feel like you're just working on energy stuff. You're working the energetics out in your life. Is there anything else for Virgo? I feel like financially things are actually really looking good for you, Virgo. It feels like there's something you are celebrating. I do have the Hermit, kind of as the last tarot card I'm pulling for you, and this is actually your card, so I really like to kind of end on this note. It does feel like, in a weird way, I'm getting the energy with this Hermit in particular, where it's like you are standing on a platform, and that can feel sort of isolating. Maybe some of you are stepping into a role of leadership or mentorship, and people are coming to you. People are looking up to you, because the Hermit is really the guide in the major arcana. It's the person that the hero goes to on their journey, on their quest to gain some sort of insight or artifact that this Hermit has. And I feel like that is the role that you are filling, Virgo. And I really do feel like it's important to kind of focus your energy on yourself right now, especially with the Nine of Pentacles. This is actually Venus in Virgo, if I'm not mistaken. And so there is a lot of abundance here. There's a lot of self-love that is here. And I think that's also part of this emotional healing as well. I feel like, at least for the month of June, you're kind of keeping your social circle close to you. And there might be a lot of people following you or looking up to you, but that's not the same thing as being surrounded by people. And in fact, that can even be a bit of a lonely position, or kind of like a position of solitude. And that's how I'm feeling that this Hermit is manifesting in your life. It feels a little less traditional. It's not so much that you are retreating from the world, but you are feeling more of this role of guide or mentor. So that's very, very interesting. I am going to pull an animal card for you as well, Virgo, just to kind of put a nice little capstone on everything. And I really do like to think of these animal energies as energies for us to embody, but some people will connect to animals in spirit, or, just kind of see these animals, and that's kind of a nudge from the universe that you are on the right path or giving you some sort of guidance. What is the animal energy for Virgo for the month of June? Show us clearly. We do have the starfish. This is really interesting because I know that this card really speaks of specifically individuals, but it could also be situations or relationships where there's a lot of outward beauty, or there's something that is kind of superficially charming, but when you really get beneath the surface, there can almost be something that's kind of parasitic or lacking in some way. And maybe that's even the energy around you. If you don't feel like there's any sort of energetic drain, it could just be this kind of like energetic emptiness or superficiality. And very often with the starfish card, the advice here is about being very, very selective with who you bring into your life and who you surround yourself with. Because I feel like a lot of you have a specific dream or goal that other people don't connect to or connect with. And they might only be excited about it because they see you rising into some sort of role. What else do we have for Virgo? We have the moth. Interesting. And I don't feel like the moth is your energy, Virgo, as much as it is just energy around you. And it feels like moth to the flame, people are just drawn to your energy. But not all of that attention on you is good. Especially with the Seven of Cups, or I'm sorry, the Seven of Wands and the Moon. Not all attention is good attention, Virgo. And it kind of even reminds me of like malelkio, or evil eye, which is when someone is paying attention to you or noticing you or even giving you a compliment, but there's kind of this energy beneath it that can latch on to you and effectively curse you. I mean, it's not a very strong curse generally, but that does sort of come up for me, interestingly enough. And yet at the same time with the Hermit, it's not about you dimming your light. It's not about you being afraid of this energy because you're resolving it. You are resolving these things. You don't have to be afraid of having attention on yourself, but it's just something to be mindful of, especially with so much focus on your role in the world at large in the month of June, whether that's career, whether that's social media, however you present to the world that is bigger than you. It's almost like being recognized by people versus basing your sense of worth off of how people perceive you. Because that could become parasitic very quickly. Because there could be energies around you that aren't actually good to be close to. And so having those boundaries, it's interesting. It feels like maybe that's kind of that double path, you know? There's a lot of multiplicity in this month. There's not a very clear yes or no, do this, don't do that. It feels like there is a lot here that is very nuanced, Virgo. And I think those are all the messages that I have for you this month. I do hope that this was helpful. I hope that you are celebrating. It looks like there's some really beautiful news heading your way. Love to see this card, or this combination of cards. I will see you all in the next video. You can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions in the description of this video, as well as this month's playlist for all of the zodiac signs. Maybe there's something there for your moon or rising sign if this video didn't quite resonate, or you just like greater clarity on another issue that we didn't discuss today. Anyways, Virgo, take care. Have a happy and blessed June.